Yeah, good morning, everyone. So, yesterday we learned about how the application works. Yeah. So, we discussed about some functionalities inside the projects and how Redux Toolkit works. As I told you, one shopping application today I will upload. The rest others two applications that we learned. Have you tried them? Completely tried with Redux. So you need to try those. I given a complete project of video library with Redux and others. You need to try both of them. Now I asked you to implement certain functionalities, right? You have to design all of them. And I will upload another project as I told you. You can try 3 applications and you can handle them. Today we will see a basic introduction to testing and deployment. Generally, what is that is not our job, but basic points you need to understand. So, how testing works, we need to understand. Actually, testing and deploying, how these 2 points work. Actually, after learning building the application, testing and deploying, generally what is the concept of testing is checking whether the design is matching the client requirements or not. So testing verifies whether the developer design is matching with client requirement. If developer design is matching with client requirement, then test is pass. Otherwise, it is fail. It involves everything. The logic you written is returning the correct results. The UI you designed is having the correct interface. All those we have to do. So generally testing is the process of verifying as is and to be. So as is nothing but as is refers to developer design. As is referred to developer design. And to be is client requirement. So if as is matching with to be, then test pass. So if as is not matching with to be, then test fail. Test fail. That is the concept. So what is designed by developer, it should match the client requirements. So do this, actually we need separate frameworks. So there are so many testing frameworks. So to implement testing, you need those frameworks. Actually, so JavaScript based testing frameworks. So JavaScript based testing frameworks are required for testing React application. Actually, we have different testing frameworks like Jasmine, Karma. So we have VI test. So many are there. But the most recommended with JavaScript, because remember, it's not mandatory that everybody uh, have to use the same one. That depends on their requirements. So JavaScript based testing frameworks are required because we use JavaScript and TypeScript as language for React. So what is the concept of these frameworks? They will provide all the functions which you can use for testing. So here I'm not teaching you complete testing concepts, just introduction I'm giving you. Why? Because that is a separate profile for a developer and he need to learn various frameworks, testing frameworks. Just a basic idea how the testing is configured, I am showing you here. So actually JavaScript based testing frameworks are these, and here React application so designed using React application designed using JavaScript is enabled with just framework. It is enabled with just framework. So we have to use this framework for testing. It is by default enabled. If you want to use in any another project, you can manually set up this testing framework. So React application, when you created with JavaScript, by default it is having the testing framework enabled. Which testing framework is enabled? Just already we created one project. What is our React application? So we created a demo React app. In this we learnt all the React concepts now. All React related concepts we learnt here. Everything we learnt here. Means all type of functionalities, everything we designed here. Now in this application, so in this application, actually, in this application, when you go to package JSON, you can see that testing library is already installed. Testing library is already set. By default, it is set. If it is not set, how to install? I will send a document. You can see that. Means you have to manually install everything. That is not required for you, because when you build an application, automatically the application is enabled with which framework? Just usually in projects, what they do is they build application from scratch end to end. In that case, what they have to do manually enable the framework. Those points also I will send you. You can try if you are building a empty application. Empty application means in the beginning we designed. In the beginning, what we designed, create public SRC, add README, everything in a project of React. In the first session, I showed you manually how to design React libraries and all without any tool. Manually, I showed you everything. In the beginning, we learned about that. So in such applications, you want to enable testing framework, then you have to install everything. You have to set up manually. But when you create a React application using templates, automatically it is enabled, it is defined. Just you have to use this framework for testing. So how we have to test? That means we will see how we can test. So testing a component. So we'll see how we can test a component. A basic point about testing components. I already told you we are not learning testing as a concept completely here. That is not our job, right? So just an introduction to this. Testing component means you designed one component, in that there is certain design and functionality, and you want to verify whether it is according to client requirement or not. So testing a component contains three basic phases. Anywhere testing contains three phases. What are those? Testing component comprises of three phases. We have arrange, we have act, and we have assert. Anywhere in any testing environment, when you are testing contains three phases. Testing is arranging, act, and assert. Arrange means you have to import everything that you want to test. Act means you have to tell what to test. Assert means you have to verify whether the results returned are according to client requirements and report whether test is passed or failed. So arrange is define the component that you want to test. Act is mention what to test. And assert is verify whether the results are matching with the client requirement. If they are matching, then what to do? If they are matching, then you have to show that test is passing. If it is not matching, test is failed. That's what we need to do. So here three options are there. Arrange is the process of configuring the component to test. Act defines the design and functionality to test. And assert is to verify test results. Is to verify test results. Is to verify test results. And report the results. So this is assert. So just a framework provides various mock functions. Just a framework provides various mock functions. It provides various mocks functions for arrange, act, and assert. We have various mock functions. We have like test. We have like render. So we have like screen. So we have so get by. So to be. So many types of functions. Remember, in every testing framework, these functions will be changing. So sometimes many companies have their own testing frameworks. That means they have their own frameworks. They use those frameworks for testing. So it's not mandatory that you have to use only what you have learned. So there are different frameworks, they use different frameworks. So just you need to have an idea how these are framed, how they are designed and configured. So these are actually test related some functions. This, what these do, simple point I will tell you. Actually, test is used for configuring a test case. That means you generally know while testing terms are different. We have test plans, we have like test cases. That means a test plan is about testing some component. Test case is in that what you want to test. There may be several cases. For example, several cases is nothing but like several consequences. If user clicks cancel, what should happen? If user clicks OK, what should happen? If user clicks close, what should happen? These are all different cases. To design the plan, to design the cases, to arrange, act, and assert, they have separate functions. All testing libraries are not same, different. For example, some testing libraries will have a function called describe instead of what test. It depends on various frameworks. Generally, in just what we have to do, in just we have to use this test, render, and all this. So actually, simple point is it configures, test configures a case. So it renders the component to test. It provides methods to access UI content. These are reference methods. So these are assert functions. To be equal, to be greater than, to be less than, to be true, to be false, hundreds are there. Get by ID, get by text content. There are so many options. So how do we define a test plan and how do we test? We'll see. Right. So that is usually the test, how you configure them. Let's see how do we implement a simple test? For example, in our components here, actually, if you remembered when you created a project, already test is present, app.test.js is present. Means it is already having some test file. I will delete it. We don't need this. Actually, it is using them. It is using those options and defining them. So I will remove this. I'll delete that. Okay. Now we will create one component. So the components already we have so many components. So we need to test the components. Suppose you have a weather component. This is weather.jsx. You remembered we created weather component. Weather component, we designed all the weather related functionalities and defined here. So we already tried these APIs and we worked with this. Now, according to client requirements, this weather should have some basic elements on screen. They should have certain functionalities. Then how we design it? How do we test it? Actually, this application should have a title, and title is expected as so weather app. I given just weather app as title. Now, and here, yeah, what are the requirements for this? So I will give one example now. What is that is we created weather.jsx. We designed this. Actually, it is what? It is a weather component. It is a weather component. According to client requirements, so what are the client requirements? So this is a weather component. A simple requirements I will tell you. So what are the client requirements? Client requirements is nothing but, so title must be, so weatherman. So something like this. Weatherman should be the title. That should be the title according to client requirements. That app should have title. And it must have a link to navigate. To navigate to, suppose Google weather, something like this. Google weather, it has to navigate. It should have a link to navigate to Google weather. So these are two basic requirements. So one is it must have title, that is weatherman. It must have a link to navigate to Google weather, like that. So this is one base general normal example. And what is the link actually? It should navigate to the Google weather. So what are the points means? So that means you must have an anchor element. Anchor requires href. Href value href value must be requires href with value like, so developers.google.com, something like this we want. Anything, you can test anything you want. So these are the basic requirements. That means client says that you design one weather app. That weather app should, you can have so many things. You can say that it should have these cities, it should have these contents. You can test anything. So this is the basic requirement of client. Now we have to, developer have designed already. Now what our testing people have to verify? whether developer design is matching with the requirements of client. They have to do that. How they do? Generally, first point what we do is add a new test file. You have to add a new test file. So generally, test files can have extension like so whether dot test dot JS. So we can have JSX or JS. So test.js. Actually, in some frameworks, it can be like weather.spec.js. Spec.js. Specification. Test specification. Usually test files will be weather.test.js or spec.js. I already told you, if you are building a new app in that, suppose you have a TypeScript and you want to enable, remember, white apps are not enabled with testing. When you create an app using white, they are not enabled with testing. You have to manually enable with testing. You have to manually enable the TypeScript support for testing. That process, I will upload one document, you verify. You can try that. But this is already, we built a project. In that project, testing is already enabled. Just we have to use that. So here, how do we add the test here? I'm adding a new file. What is it? Weather.test.js. This is the file. Now here we need to test. So first we need to import. Actually we need screen from test library and we need render from the test library. Basically you need these two. There are so many classes and functions in a testing framework. You see, actually this is the official just js.io. This is the official just library. This is the official framework and it is used for all TypeScript, Node, React, Angular, Vue. Every technology can use this. And for everyone, they have hundreds of functions. They have hundreds of functions. You can see there are so many functions for every purpose. There are so many modules. There are so many functions, so many implementations. It's a very big framework. For this, people are appointed with a separate profile, testing profile. Usually your experienced senior people are involved in this type of testing. And for that also they have to have a complete idea on that framework. They have to learn the testing framework and all. So I'm just showing you a simple process here. So there are hundreds of modules and functions. Now in this first step, what we have to do, we need to import these two and configure the test. And remember, what we need to test, we need to test title. Title, where title is in the component, title is this heading. Now how to access it and use it? Generally in JavaScript, how do we access get element by ID, query selector? Here we can give data and a test ID. We can give a data test ID. Data test ID to refer that particular element. And what is it? Suppose title. That is the title. Data test ID so that you can access any element by using test ID. Suppose you want to test an image and verify whether it is having SRC particular file or not. You want to test a link and verify whether it is having an attribute or not. You want to verify any button, then how do you access them? For that you can give a ID. Without ID also we can access we can access by using inner HTML. Inside the button, what text is present, what values are present, we can access using that. So I given a test ID here. So what is the first one is, so first concept is we have to create one test. This is for title test. How do you define a case? We have to use a test method. Test uses a test case name. What is the test case name? This is title test. That is the test case name. It uses a callback function. It uses a callback function. Now, in this function, first we have to import the component that we want to test. Where is this title? We have to import that component. So what is our component? Import which component? Weather component. We have to import. And first you have to render that component. That means render which component? Weather. So the component that you want to test, first you have to import. So the first step, every time what you have to do is just bring the component first. Which one you want to test? Okay. After that, what you want to test in this? We want to test title. How to get the title? So we will create a title. How to get the title? Document get element by ID, like that. We have a screen. Screen have so many functions. You see so many functions. This screen provides lot of functions here. Lot of functions here. These are all like JavaScript query functions. Now we have to access get by test ID. I will use get by test ID. What is the test ID we given? Test ID we given is title. Title is the text ID. And remember here, very important. So get by test ID. And you see, this is the matcher options. What is the test ID you are looking for? So test ID is what? Title is the test ID. We are looking for the test ID. That means now what we are doing, we are bringing the title and referring here. Just like in JavaScript, how you refer the elements. That means you are referring to this test ID. Okay. So the title is, means the heading is accessible here. What you want to test in that heading? In that heading, we want to test whether the title is the same what client is expecting. Right? So what we have to do here, we have to write expect. Expect what? Expect title. Expect title. What it should be? That means to have text content. Actually, there are so many mock functions like to be in the document, to be in the document, right? To be equal to, so to be equal to be less than, to be greater than, to be disabled, to be enabled, to be close to. Hundreds of to be functions are present. You can see so many to options are there. Is it greater than? Is it less than? Is it null? Is it true? Is it false? You can verify all types. Now what we want to have, what to have text content. To have text content. What text content? It is expecting a string or a regular expression. That means you can verify string or regular expression. Regular expression when to use? When you want something like it should start with uppercase letter, end with lowercase letter. It should be 4 to 15 characters. Such things you want to verify. Then you can write a regular expression. And you know that regular expression is written in double slash. Na? It is defined in double slash. That means what to have text content. Text content is what we have to define like weather man. That is the text content we are expecting. We are expecting text content as what? Weather ban. That's how we are configuring. So what is the meaning of this? It is nothing but inside the weather component, there must be a title called weather man. But what our developer have designed, he designed weather app, but we want a weather man. That means it is not according to requirement. Okay. Let's create another test. Another test is nothing but link to Google test. Link to Google test. We need to verify, is there any link for navigation to Google weather? Is there any link available to navigate to Google weather? First, and remember that link may not be there. If link is there, you can put a data test ID. If not there, how you will access? Now you have to refer one element which may not be there in the design. If an element is not there in the design, how you will access it? Then we have to use other techniques. What, for example, we are writing here, test, what is it? Google link test. This is Google link test. What is the callback function? In this, again, same, first render. What to render? You have to render weather app. Okay. After that, what you have to do? We have to access a link. How to access the link? We have to use screen dot get by. There is no ID because that link is not there. If it is there, we can put an ID. But what is the condition? It may not be there. We have to verify, is it there or not? There is a button or not? There is a link or not? There is a title or not? We have to verify that. That means what we have to do, get by text content. So get by what we have, get by text is enough, right? Get by text. We are using get by text. Okay. What is the text you are expecting? So I am expecting the text. What is the text I given here? We are expecting what? So you must have a link, navigate to Google weather. So that means what should be the link text? So link text is suppose Google weather. We have to verify that. That means I am expecting this text. And remember why you are using get by text. Why you are using get by text? Because if it is there, we can have an ID. If it is not there, how to refer? We have to check whether there is any text by this name inside that component, right? Actually, you have so many options. As I told you, get by what? Get by C, text, get by contents. So many are there. You see, so many are there. Get by title, text, and all. So I'm using get by text. I'm using get by text. Okay. Now, what we have to verify in this, two we should verify. What is it? First one, it should be in the component. So that means expect link to be in the document. That is the first thing. That means make sure that by this name, some text is present inside the component. Which name? Google weather. By this name, some text is present inside the document. It should be in the document. Okay. If it is in the document, what to verify? If it is in the document, verify whether it is having an attribute href. That means another expect. What you are expecting else? More. What you are expecting? I am expecting to have attribute. Which attribute? Attribute I am expecting href as attribute. Okay, what value you want? Value is https://developers.google.com. Roughly, I am using something. Anything wrong will not work. That means a domain name is wrong, protocol is wrong, anything is missing, it will not work. Okay. This is what we are expecting. These are the two test cases we written. One case is to verify whether the title is according to requirement. Another one is to verify whether there is a link. Remember, you can verify anything. It is having title, it is having color, it is having font, it is having anything. You can verify. There are hundreds of mock functions we can do. Now test case is ready. Once the test case is ready, that means you need to configure the test. So here we have to import the component and the test functions. Component and test functions. So you need to import screen and render like options from the test library. Testing library React. After that, so you have to import component. So from component. After that, what you have to do is configure the test case using test method. So syntactically test the title and a callback we need to configure like this. So here render the component. How do we render the component? Render and the component. After that, configure the act. How do we configure so here configure, not configure, here I will give initialize the references for elements to test. How do we do that? Where reference is equal to screen by get by anything you can use. After that, what you have to do, configure the act. So expect reference to be related anything you can define. That's what we need to do. It can be to be, expect, reference, to have. Majority of functions will be to be and to have. So once you define this example I given here, so this is what weather.test.js. In that I copy this one. That is the example what we have. Okay. Now how do we test it? Already in the application, there is a test script configured. So you have to just run test. So after defining all this, now you have to test. Start testing using npm run test. Npm run test is the command. Npm run test is the command. By using this we do. Right. So I just open the terminal. In the terminal, you have to just run npm run test. When I run test, it is going to run the test that we have defined, identify what are the problems. See, it is testing weather.test.js, and it will report us the problems inside that component. You see, so test suits one failed. That means only one test suit it found. Test suit means one component related test it found. And one failed. Why failed? What failed? It will show the message also here. Actually, so some Axios is used here. Sorry. Axios related anything I will, because currently we are not using any APIs. First we will terminate the API part. Means just I will terminate the API part. Axios and everything. I will not use any Axios for testing and all. Means these functionalities, button click and all functionalities, I am not doing anything as of now. So let me set up all this. Right. And this area also I will comment. Okay. Now, Prof, I'm compiling this again. Okay. Now you see the test failed results are coming here. What is it? So test failed results are coming here. So what are the test failed results are coming here? You see. That means now you can see whether test have two failures. Title failed, Google link also failed. Why title failed? So this handle search click also I will do. Means other functionalities I will disable. Other functionalities also I will disable. Because the issues, generally what are the issues we get here is, I will not use comments here. I will remove these functions because I commented them. Okay. You can see, so this is the test fail. Means it is showing that your test has failed. What is the test fail? First one, titles test is failed. One test failed. Why? What is the title test? It expects element to have text content what? Whether man. But what it received? It received whether app, whether app. That is not matching. Okay, what is the second one? So it is unable to find the element by this name. There is no element by that name. It is unable to find the element by that name. Okay, let's do the modifications now. What we will do? I will go and change this not as weather app. We will change it to what? Weather man. Right? I will save this now. When I save, automatically you can see the test is there, and you see one failed and one passed. What is one passed? So one passed is what? The passed one is title test is passed. And the Google link is failed. Why? It is unable to find that element. Okay, let's do one thing. Somewhere in this we will put an anchor. And what is it? Google weather. That is the text I am giving. And you can see when I run this now, again it will run the test. And you see again failed. What it failed? Expected that the element to have an attribute this, but it received null. That means anchor is there, but anchor is expected to have an attribute called href. So it is unable to have that href. That means expected that element to have an attribute, which one? Href. That means href is received null. Null means href is not there. Okay, let's go here and we write what? Href. Href I given as hash. Then again the test will fail. Again the test will fail. What is that? Expected to the element to have this one as value, but it received hash. Now what we will do? We will put the same what is expected. We will put what is expected. Okay. I am keeping the same what is expected. Then I will save. Now you can see that all the tests are passed. Whatever tests are there, tests are passed. That means title test is passed and link test is passed. Everything you can test in the same way. That means every button, every link, every text box, every value you can test. According to client requirements, we write all the tests. And if anything is missing, so it will, why I have disabled those events? Because remember, currently you are not running the application, you are just testing. Because Axios and all, dynamically when you run, they are ready. Those actions are ready. Currently application is not running. Before the application is running, you are testing. Application running means you have to start the application, npm start. So technically here, the test that you have written, remember, just is going to identify all test files. All test files with extension test.what.js. And it is going to verify all the test files. That is the reason I deleted app.test.js. Why? Because we modified that app and in that they given some default testing. I removed that and I added our own test. So how do we write the test cases and how do we define? Right? This is one basic concept of test, how the test is configured and defined. Right? This is not required, just an idea. That means you have an idea of testing and how do you manage that. Next important, after understanding testing, how it is done, one more is deployment. Deployment means how we can push into cloud. That means how we can publish onto cloud. Actually, currently our project is not ready for cloud. Why? Because currently we are in development environment now. In development environment, you see so many components, so much is there. In development environment, so many components and so many things are there. Now what I will do is, in that index, I will change this starting with which one? Weather. We'll start with the weather. And actually, if you have routing, you can put that main app which is in the routing. Currently, I'm just keeping a weather. Okay. Next, what to do is here, I will remove this part. Now I don't want this. Okay, it is temporarily fine. Okay, so what I will do here is, yeah, this rest of things are ready now. Okay, now what I want to do is, I want to make this live so that I can access from anywhere and use it. Generally, what we have to do, we have to deploy on cloud. You design some weather app, you want to make it live. So, but actually it is, remember, you can make all of them available live so that anybody can access and see. Generally these days we expect you to publish all your designs on to cloud. What is the purpose of that is, if in resume, if anybody asks you like, show me what you designed. So generally these days freshers, what they do, they try different apps, projects. They can links for them in Git and they can simply configure them. Gits and all you will learn in general web designing, right? So technically you can publish and the online portfolio, you can show your all work that you have done. Usually web developers create their own online portfolios, right? In the portfolios, you can put these project links, but currently this project is not ready for, it is not ready for publishing. It is in development. How to make it ready for publishing so that it can go live? That is what we call that as what? Deploying. What is deploying? Deploying is nothing but it is the process of, it is the process of go live. It is the process of building application for production so that it can go live. It is the process of building application for production so that it can go live. It can go live. The process of building application for production, that is important. And you can deploy local or deploy on local servers or cloud. I hope you learned in web designing what are local servers. If you learn various technologies of web, local servers will be like what IIS is a local server, XAMPP is a local server, WAMP is a local server. You have Tomcat as a local server. So many local servers are present. Generally in web development, you learn about these local servers, how to deploy on local servers. Your Java, .NET, PHP, full stack applications, usually they can run on local servers. Cloud servers means what? Cloud servers. So cloud servers like we have Firebase. So we have AWS, like what? Azure. So you have like Netlify. So Vercel, so many are there. So many, you can even use GitHub pages. So many you can use anything, whatever you want. So usually deploying on cloud will make it globally accessible. Anywhere we can access and use it. So, but our application is not ready for that. So I will show an example deploying on Firebase. deploying on Firebase. Firebase is a Google Cloud. You can use Google Cloud for free. Actually, others are paid services. Some are free, some are paid services. They provide up to limited concepts free. Others you need to buy and use them. And for that, AWS Azure means you have to learn those technologies first, right? To implement and handle. A simple Firebase is enough to publish your React designs, and you can link them in with your resumes, and you can show them what you designed in React. But what you do, better create one app, in that put a proper routing, saying that this is my EMI calculator, this is my weather app. Put a good routing, and through that you can easily access, right? So initially, this is in our app.js. I think we already have a route such, but these are basic routes actually. These are the basic routes actually. It's fine. I just made only one in the startup. And what is that is whether is in the startup, whether in the, but you create a good route with all the screens, right? Now, how do we deploy on Google Cloud? First, what you do is log in into your Firebase account, into your Firebase account with the Google Gmail ID. With Google ID, you can log in. So I will show here firebase.com. This is the official. Into that you can log in. Then go to console and create a project, create a new project. You go to console and create a new project. So go to console. So log in into your Google account. In the console, you can create a new project. So here, actually, I will make sure that I use some, my accounts are there. So it's fine. Okay, create a Firebase project here. You have a create project. Okay, what is the project name? Suppose weather React app, something like this. Actually, by that name already so many may be there. So weatherman React app. Okay, that is a unique name I created, just so that I avoid all those codes in my project. So I created this and continue, and just continue. You don't need to choose anything, just continue, and it is a default free account. So by default, they provide 8 or 9 projects to publish free. After that, you have to buy. You can delete existing projects, add new one, update. You can use various clouds. So what you done is go to console, create a project. So name I given as Weatherman React app, something like this. After that, what you have to do, once the project is created, install Firebase tools on your PC. That means anywhere in command prompt. So npm install Firebase tools. You have to run this command globally. Install Firebase tools globally. Remember, Azure tools are separate, AW tools are separate, Git tools are separate, right? For every environment, different tools will be there. So install the Firebase tools separately. After installing, now what you have to do is go to your project. Then first what you have to do is go to your project terminal. First what you have to do is build your application for production. How to build the application for production? npm run build. You have to use this command. When you execute this command, what it will do, it will create a production folder. Do you know production folder contains only one folder with all files? Generally, what you done while developing a project, separate files you created, so many hundreds of component files are present. But when it goes to production, only one index HTML will be there, one main JS will be there. In that, all the logic will be copied. It will not have hundreds of separate component files. Everything will be into one production. It will create this production folder actually. In my PC already Firebase tools are installed globally. So it is already installed. I will use one thing here now. Build this project. How do we build? npm run build. When I run this npm build, you can see that in your project automatically a production build is ready. It will create a production build folder. So you can see it is now creating one folder for you, and the folder is what? Build. All these resources, whatever are there, they are copied into the build. Everything is copied into the build. So it is failed to compile, Axios not defined. Somewhere compiling problem is there, because in in components in weather app, we have disabled that, right? I will enable this because we have to import this, no? Right. Previously I disabled that. Okay. Now again build it. Okay, build is ready now. That means the production is ready. And what is the folder to be deployed? This folder to be deployed. And you can see in that all the resources are copied, including images, everything, whatever you are using for the project. Actually, startup file will be which one? Index.html, right? Okay, build is ready. Now, next what we have to do, once the production folder is ready, so here we have to do another. Login into Firebase. We have to run the command Firebase login. Firebase login. You have to run this command Firebase login. If you haven't logged in, it will open a browser and ask you to log in. Already in a window we logged in into that. It will show, actually I logged in a different account. So Firebase sign out or log out, some option is there. Sign out. Latest version is not there. Logout is there something? Okay, logged out. So Firebase login. Why? Because I logged out into a different account. So it is asking allow Firebase. Yes. It will open which one I am choosing my account I have and continue. Because that is the location where we created project na allow. So it is successfully logged in. That means I logged in into my official account here. Okay. Now once you logged in successfully, it will open a browser. Automatically it will ask choose your account. Make sure that the account is the same where you created the project, right? After that, next what you have to do, we have to run the command initialize Firebase. How do you do that? So Firebase init, you have to run the command Firebase init. You have to initialize the command Firebase init. This Firebase deploying is a very, very simple process of deploying your apps. Very simple. So Firebase init you have to run. Now let's go and run here Firebase init. Okay, when I run Firebase init, it is going to ask, do you want to proceed? Yes. It is asking, so which feature you want to use? Which Firebase features you want to set up? That is the question it asks. So it is asking which Firebase feature you want to set up. It is asking Firebase feature you want to set up. Because in Firebase, there are so many features, database, server, virtual machine, so much will be there. What you do? So here you have to select app hosting. This you have to select. You have to select hosting. You have to select hosting. Because Firebase is a cloud, it is having so many things. You have to select hosting. You have to choose hosting. Okay. I selected hosting and enter. Fine. It is asking, do you want to use existing project or create project? What you have to do? So project. Project is nothing but what you have to do. Project. Use existing project, not to create a new project. Okay. Use existing project. Select that. Use existing project. Okay. Which project you have to select? So select which project? Select project. Which project? Weatherman, React app. This is the project we created. That means you see it will show the projects you have. I am having Angular, React, shopping app, something. I will select Weatherman. That is the project. Okay. Now it is asking, what is your production folder? It is asking your production folder. What is the production folder? Production folder is build na. That is the production folder. So you have to run the command what? Build. Build is the production folder. So it is asking what is the public directory? That is production directory is build. Okay, enter. It is asking, do you want to rewrite index? No, don't rewrite index because index is our setup. GitHub currently not required. I will use no. And it is again asking, do you want to rebuild that index? Don't rebuild the index. No. So that means here anywhere, so it is asking rewrite index.html. Always put no. Otherwise, what it will do, it will delete index and it will put its own code into that. I don't want that. We have our own index. Okay, it is ready now. Now one more thing we have to do. That means once you run all this, now final step is what? Deploy. You configured currently. Now we have to deploy. Just Firebase deploy. You have to just run the command Firebase deploy. You have to just run Firebase deploy. Deploy is nothing but push all this to the cloud, right? So just you have to use one more command. What is it? Firebase deploy. I use Firebase deploy and it is going to deploy the fire. Deploying, hosting the new files, uploading the files. It is done. Deploy is complete and C9, my app is ready. It is live in this location. Anybody can watch this. That means what I can do in my resumes, I can keep, this is my weather app, this is my to-do app, this is my app. All these links you can keep. Or you can simply put one portfolio. In that portfolio, you can put all links. Now let's open this and see weather app. This is the URL. Anybody have this URL, he can open it. Let's open this Weatherman React app .web app. This is the app. This is the application. I entered the city name. Suppose I entered city name Delhi and I click on search. Then what it has to do, get that and display. But it is still not there. It will take time. So because we used APIs and all, and remember when you are publishing onto that, means this is ready now. Your app is ready. Now what we have to do, all the functionalities will be working here. When user clicks, it will be functioning, everything. If you remembered, I removed that search button logic, right? So I removed that. Actually, we should use a search button logic, na? I removed that. Handle search click, I haven't used it. Where in the button on click, we have to use what? Handle search click. We have to implement. Actually, I removed previously that. Now, every time after making any change, what you have to do, 2 steps. After making any change, what you have to do? So note, after making changes, you have to do 2 things. What is it? Simply npm run build, because you done some modifications. After that, Firebase deploy. This is what you have to do. Every day, only these 2 things you have to do. After making the changes, what you need to do? npm run build. npm run build. You made some changes, build it again. After building, what you have to do? After building, the new changes are updated into your production. Just you have to deploy. And one more thing we have to do. What is it? Firebase deploy. We have to use Firebase deploy. So it is going to deploy that. Now it is ready. Now any changes you have made, it is ready. You can refresh, but sometimes to update the changes, it will take time. That means even on Git also, it will not immediately update. It will take some time. It gets that and shows. Now it is working fine. Now your app is live. So you created any app, any design that you've done, you have to use the same. That means I am entering anything like Hyderabad, right? And this, it has to get that and show. So this is live now. That means our React app is live. Whatever designs you create in React, you can show to your interviewers what you have done by using these kind of deployments, right? Actually, better what you do, create one portfolio. In that portfolio, put links saying that my projects, and user clicks, then it will show that and it will navigate to that location. That will be more better. You create a good routing end. So this, remember, every cloud have different concept. Every cloud is having different concept. But this is a simple process. You build the application, you log in into Firebase, initialize and deploy, right? So that your application is ready. So this is the process of testing and deployment, how they work in our React, right? So with this, officially we finish all the concept of React. What we are going to do is, actually we are going to conduct 2 workshops. And officially this is completed, right? We are going to conduct 2 workshops. One workshop is Next.js for server-side development. Because Next.js is one framework used for React full stack application. React full stack application. Introduction to Next.js full stack application that I am going to conduct as a workshop. And that workshop will be on Tuesday. In that workshop, we will learn how to use a framework called what? Next.js. 2 workshops I am conducting. One is that, another one, React 19 beta related new features. Because React 19 still is in beta, means it is not in a final release. That's the reason in beta what new they added, those points I will explain in another workshop. Officially here we complete everything, but those 2 your interest, you attend, that's your interest. I will post those links into Classroom. You have to attend through online, right? Offline also we will check if any people are interested to come offline. We will put them offline also, but majority it will be online, right? If any people are interested to come offline, so we will conduct both offline and online, right? Those 2 workshops will give a complete idea of React to you. One is Next.js to build a full stack application. What is Next.js? How full stack application build? Because Next.js is very much asked for experienced people these days. Having idea on that is important. So we'll conduct like a workshop for that. And React 19 is currently in the beta release. So new features they added, but they need server-side rendering. New hooks, new features. That's the reason that also we will conduct as an workshop. So that in those 2 workshops, you will have a complete idea on different concepts. So I will post the workshop related details in the next, mostly it will be on Tuesday. Monday you will not have any session. So our session officially complete. Tuesday you can attend those workshops, right? I will post those 2 workshops. If you attend, you will get a complete idea of both of them. Okay. 19 beta features. Another one is Next.js, those 2. And in our Classroom, I will upload React FAQs and React sample resumes. FAQs are nothing but interview questions, what they ask, what topics they ask. A document is there with all questions, answers related to interviews, and a fresher and experience resume I will upload, so that how to frame your skills in your resume, they will be there. You can try them. Okay. Then I will post the link for workshop. You can attend that. Okay. Right. Thank you.